The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh I like down in a green pasture. Him leadeth I beside still water. Them him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea, though I Rasta, I will walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Unu prepared a table before I, in the presence of our enemy them. Unu anointed I head with unu oil. Me cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy I go follow I all the days of I life. Me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah kedem away. How ma uso bolisa? I don't know what to. It was sick clear for. How what you mo eh? Oh you all done. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Again, here we are not neutral, and we have never claimed to be. We have taken sides. The side of the truth. That is why we are affectionately called the headquarters of the truth. And my name, Black Rasta. Now in every traditional African home there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different types, shapes and sizes, aromas and even flavors. Put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot, where they are subjected to some really good amount of heating. At the end of the day, they produce sumptuous food in all its palatability for the nourishment of the family in its whole entirety. That is what we literally do here. We pick up ideas from all walks of life, all and sundry, the rank and file of our people, and then we subject these ideas to some crucial forensic scrutiny. Then we tease out the creme de la creme of all these ideas and use that for the development of our people, our continent, our land. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. And remember, we are live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube. Please share the broadcast. Join us so many more people can join us, especially that we are starting very, very late today due to technical issues. Please forgive me. Technical issues. My brother, my sister, share the broadcast. And remember, we are also on Instagram. You can also find us on X, formerly called Twitter. We are also on TikTok, where we keep ticking and talking with the hands of patriotism. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. Come here. Now, my brother, my sister, today we have some very important stories we want to share with you, and I need you to come along. Very interesting stories, 4 very important stories, and I need you to come along. Exclusives galore. My brother, my sister, this is the Monday edition of the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. Now, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please hit on the subscription button so that each time we are on, you will be reminded to be part of us. Remember to hit on the notification button as well. And please share the broadcast and recommend us to family and friends. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. This is the headquarters of the truth, the address of the truth, the habitat of the truth, oh, the domicile of the truth. This is the Black Pot, and my name, Black Rasta. Let's get ready to rumble. Story number 1. Watch this. Ken OFORI-ATTA refused American lawyers' advice to return to Ghana. Oh my God. Now, who is Ken OFORI-ATTA? Former finance minister of the Republic of Ghana. Kenneth Kuntunkununku OFORI-ATTA. This is the man we are talking about. In fact, his father was a deputy finance minister in the regime of Buzia. So growing up, all his mind was that he must also be a finance minister. His father was called Jones OFORI-ATTA, coming from the loins of Sir OFORI-ATTA, who himself had 44 wives and a number of children and grandchildren. His mind had always been that he must also be a finance minister. This is Ken OFORI-ATTA. Now, he was finance minister of the Republic of Ghana. And in the last year of the presidency of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, there was a big clamor. It was like an earth tremor. They wanted him out. Mute Sir OFORI-ATTA. Silence Sir OFORI-ATTA. This is the man we are talking about. He had become the kingpin of the finance department and ministry. He had become the go-to man for everything finance. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo believed in him so much. Even when his own MPs came to him and told him, you know what? Censure this man here called Ken OFORI-ATTA. Nana Addo did not want to hear that. Finally, when the pressure mounted so much, Nana Addo slapped everybody in the cringing brows. He decided to promote this man. And then they brought in somebody else to become finance minister. And that was Muhammad Adam Amin Anta. The economy was terrible. They had gone all the way to the IMF to borrow $3 billion American dollars. And the IMF guys gave that to us in tranches and ordered us to take some decisions to be able to shaping back our economy. And part of those things included the so-called DDEP. Pensioners who had worked so hard for the country and were now in retirement, in the comfort of their homes, were pulled back into action after they were denied their money. They had to go, some of them in wheelchairs, to the finance offices to picket. Many died. Ken OFORI-ATTA did not have any conscience, no heart of passion beating inside him for all these people who went down the drain because of their silly policies and carelessness in handling the economy. Now, when Ken OFORI-ATTA was taken out finally, and a new finance minister was brought on, nothing changed much. But at least Ghanaians were happy that he was censured, muted, totally silenced. We asked him to resign. He said no, he would not resign. He was not even taking salary. Little did we know that all the loans that he was getting into the country, he was actually getting commission via his data bank. My brother, my sister, he tried to explain to us, confuse us with economic terms and finance terms, but the average Ghanaian only listens to his pocket when it comes to such explanations. He told us he was ill. He flew all the way to the West because he had a penchant for Western doctors. He never believed in any Ghanaian doctor. COVID, when he returned, he came back with a puffy face because he had an inflated liver. But even with that, he still returned to the office in the service of the country, in quotes. Only God knew exactly what he was benefiting by not trying to leave that office. Then he was hit again with another set of sicknesses and illnesses. And he had to return to his doctors right there in the West. This time around, he went to America as usual. Also traveled to England after some time. And according to him, he had prostate cancer. And the doctors were taking care of him. He refused to return home. He believed that he would be tormented, harassed politically, should he return home. Come here. Now, Ken OFORI-ATTA refused to come home. And then, the office of the special prosecutor started a big argument with the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. They wanted to have him extradited into the country. And therefore, the OSP had to present certain documents. OSP was slow in presenting those documents, claiming that it is an autonomous body, independent, and the Attorney General said, well, my office is the only office mandated by law to present those papers, and I am not presenting any papers that are not up to the task. Well, they came down their high horses, dealt with the documents, and bam, the documents were dispatched. Remember, we told you first, right here, that, oh yes, the Attorney General was working behind the door to be able to bring OFORI-ATTA. How many of us remember this? Now, the Attorney General had complained right there in the vineyard that the OSP had only written English, Shakespearean English, and not law. And therefore, the office of the Attorney General did not believe in what the OSP was sending to the Americans, even though it had been looked at to some extent. So what did they do? Though they presented the papers, they sat back and tried another plan. But before then, now we are told that the Attorney General himself and his office and some other people had started investigating Ken OFORI-ATTA long before the office of the special prosecutor even presented any document. And today, my brother, my sister, we have all the exclusives, and we're going to go into them one after the other. Now, we all have heard that Ken OFORI-ATTA has been arrested. Remember, we told you how he was arrested. When many people thought that his visa had expired, we told you it was an issue of the status. Today, my brother, my sister, we have more detail into this story. Ken OFORI-ATTA has actually been arrested. How was he arrested? As simple as that. Now, far away in June, the Attorney General and his office decided that Ken OFORI-ATTA must return home. He must return home because of A, B, C, D, E, F. A lot of issues he needed to come home and answer to, including some offshore issues, which the Attorney General told us the other day that was inconclusive. The lawyers kept playing mind games with the people of Ghana. Oh, he will come today. Oh, he will return tomorrow. Oh, he's sick. His doctor says this. Finally, they told us that we had to interrogate him over the fence. Zoom. And we made it clear that nobody interrogates a thief over the fence. My brother, my sister, Ken OFORI-ATTA made up his mind that he was not returning to Ghana. Can I tell you more? Watch this now. Now, remember we told you first time here that Ken OFORI-ATTA's lawyer was a former Attorney General of the United States of America, John David Ashcroft. And we ran his dossier for you the other day. He's a very smart lawyer, a lawyer who is well sought after. He's also a professor of law In fact, in the university that he taught, they instituted an award program in his honor. He is a Christian who attends the Assemblies of God Church. He's also a singer in the church. And he has composed and recorded a very powerful patriotic song for America. This is a man who is in almost everything important, from law all the way through to religion, spirituality, philanthropy, and even more. This is John David Ashcroft. He was Attorney General of America from 2001 all the way to 2005. He was also a senator. This man has seen it all. A very good friend of our own Attorney General. And I'm talking about Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine. Now, when Ken's issue came, and the Attorney General started investigating the issue before the OSP, in fact, he got in contact with this man. They were talking about this issue, how they could get this man extradited to come and face justice. Then the OSP's extradition thing too came, and it even made it heavier. Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine now got in contact with the man and some other people discussing how Ken OFORI-ATTA could be extradited into the country. And this man here was talking to the nation. He was giving his services to our nation. They were talking. Remember, Dominic Akuritinga Ayine is a Stanford lawyer. He went to school in America. So some of these people are his colleagues. But all of a sudden, when Ken OFORI-ATTA realized that there was a certain kind of extradition attempt, he decided that no, he will fight his case. And when he got to know that the man responsible was John David Ashcroft, bam, he went and contacted him. We've given you all these details. Time now to tell you what you haven't heard yet. Now, as it stands right now, the government of Ghana, led by Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine, may be going to court against John David Ashcroft for double standards and conflict of interest. You were working with the government of Ghana to extradite Ken OFORI-ATTA. All of a sudden, you are Ken OFORI-ATTA's lawyer. Wow. That is very fishy, isn't it? But money talks. Ken OFORI-ATTA doled out a lot of money to hire the services of John David Ashcroft, a former Attorney General of America. Now look at what happened. What many people do not know is this. When Ken OFORI-ATTA approached John David Ashcroft, he said, "Sir, I need you to defend me. I don't want to return to Ghana. And I know that you are working with my people in Ghana to bring me home. What would it take? Tell me what your fees are. Get the best lawyers in America that you trust so that my case never fails. Just give me the budget." And boom, the budget was given to him. Big amount of money. And they were able to get 13 lawyers put together, including John David Ashcroft, as we were told. Now see the next thing that happened. At this point, the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine, did not know that all these things were happening. And he kept talking to John David Ashcroft. Yes, Ashcroft. Talking to him. So the extradition, how far? How do we go about this? You are American and I need you to support us to be able to bring this man. How quickly can we do this? It was at that point that John David Ashcroft went back to Ken OFORI-ATTA and told him, you know what? I have spoken with my colleague, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayene, and he has promised me that they will give you a very safe entry into Ghana. You will not be harassed. Nobody is going to torment you. You would have a very fair trial. I trust that guy. He's a very good friend of mine. Please, you have a good case. We will get the best lawyers to defend you in Ghana. Please, sit in the next plane and return to Ghana. And what did Ken OFORI-ATTA say? Come here. Ken OFORI-ATTA said, never. Go back to which Ghana? I am not going back to Ghana today. And I'm not going back tomorrow. I want to stay here. And I have paid you to be able to make sure that I remain here in Ghana. All this while, Attorney General Ghana and former Attorney General USA were just talking about extradition, how to get Ken come home. And former Attorney General US was talking to our Attorney General about how the man could have a safe entry and a very fair trial. But when Ken said no, he wasn't coming, John David Ashkoff now had to speak a different language. When he called Dominic Akuritinga Ayene this time round, he wasn't talking about safe entry, safe passage, fair trial. He said, listen, man, I am now representing the same guy we have been talking about all this while. That was when Dominic Akuritinga Ayene was brokenhearted. Wow. All this while, we've been talking about bringing this man home. We have collaborated. Now he's your lawyer? Oh, this is conflict of interest. This is sad. He said, well, you know how the way goes. And that ended the conversation. But Dominic Akuritinga Ayene was smart. He had gone back door, started talking to the Americans again. And this is exclusive. Watch this. Now, do we all know that America has a military base in Ghana or not? We know, right? And it's been here for some time now. Now, the recent strikes in Nigeria against Boko Haram and some people who were tormenting Christians in that country, a lot of the strikes started from Ghana. The planes were flying from here. Missiles were thrown from here into Nigeria with the collaboration of these countries, Nigeria, Ghana, America. My brother, my sister, this kind of camaraderie, yes, camaraderie, my brother, my sister, friendship was on between America and Ghana. So all the authorities in Ghana had to do was to just call and say that, you know what, we have this beautiful relationship. FBI can come into our country, pick 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a military base here. We allow you to be able to do things. We collaborate and do things. Please, we want that guy Ken OFORI-ATTA. And the American people said, okay, we will do it. So now, Dominic Akuritinga Ayene bypassed John David Ashkoff and went for a more powerful force, the FBI, and the rest of all these agencies. Come here. And this is where the story even gets hotter and sweeter. The Americans couldn't say no. Because they have a military base here, they have a strong collaboration with Ghana. And to wait for the extradition was going to be lengthy. So, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice foresaw that the extradition would be lengthy. So he quickly asked the American people to find a way of bringing this man home. And he gave them some reasons and some other things he was investigating. Just make sure he comes home. This was in June. In July, the Americans revoked the visa of Ken OFORI-ATTA. And when they revoked it, they cancelled it, they nullified it, depending on what term you want to use. They called him and said, sir, your visa has been revoked. And he said, why? He said, it has been revoked. The fact that you have a visa does not guarantee you stay in America. We have looked at a few things you are doing, and we think that you have breached the laws of this country. Please, you have up to November, the last week of November, to leave. Ken was confused. They called him and spoke to him. He started to shiver. His visa was supposed to expire on the 14th of February, the following year, 2026. Now the American people are calling me to tell me that I have up till November to leave. Hey! Ken spoke to the lawyers. Now, John David Ashcroft could no longer get back to Dominic Akuritinga Ayine because of the supposed break. You could call it betrayal. He couldn't get back to him. So Ken was now hot. But the lawyers asked him again, are you sure you don't want to return to Ghana? And anytime they asked him that, he got more angry. It's okay. Can you get anybody to file for you to stay in this country? It might be long, but we will try and see how it could be sped up, and then we'll tackle other issues. That was when Ken's son, Kenneth OFORI-ATTA, his son, came into action, and his name is Nana OFORI-ATTA. We are told this is his photograph. We cannot independently verify this. My brother, my sister. And he was born on the 8th of March 2001. So that gives him about 25 years. He's an American citizen, Ken's son. And he filed for Ken to have permanent residence in America. That is the truth. So what Martin Pebu and the rest have been talking about, that the lawyers are trying to deny, this is the truth. Ken's son, Nana OFORI-ATTA, born on the 8th of March in 2001. And I'm looking at his American passport as I'm talking to you right now. We are not permitted to put it out. This guy filed for his father to stay in America permanently. It's a long process. They started working on it. He decided that he would not leave. He refused to listen to his lawyers, who told him the best thing to do is to leave this country, go to Ghana. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine has promised safe passage and a very fair trial. We will also be in Ghana to support you. We'll get the best lawyers to support you. But Ken said, no, I don't want to hear that. That's not what I paid you for. I paid you to keep me in this country. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game. Now, with Dominic Akuritinga Ayine on one side and John David Ashcroft on the other side, who now will not be able to collaborate legally to deal with this issue, little did they know that the Ghanaian people had gone back door to talk to their collaborators in America. Now, visa has been revoked. You have up to November to go. But the lawyers knew they will not be able to finish this case before November. They advised Ken to go home. He said no, he wouldn't. And listen to the interesting thing. Ken was supposed to be picked up on the 4th of January. For some reason, They were lurking around the house, ICE, where he lived in Washington, D.C., as we are told. My brother, my sister, the Westlight apartments, very luxurious apartment. That was where he was living. And according to Manasseh, who has given us more information, in fact, Kamala Harris used to live in this apartment too. She had a 2-bedroom house in there. And when she was picked as the vice president of America, she decided to vacate the place, and she actually auctioned it for an arm and a leg over $1 million American dollars. It's a celebrity house. This was where Ken was living. And he lived exorbitantly. You may say, with our money, but that was where he was. His family visited him there. He stayed there. Everything is in this apartment. When they went there on the 4th, it looked like he was not at home. He had gone elsewhere. But ICE continued to keep an eye on the building for 3 days. The 4th, the 5th, it was on the 6th. They saw him around. And boom, they jumped into him and held him and handcuffed him. Soon, we will release the real photographs of him being handcuffed, the real one, not the AI version. When we get the go-ahead, we shall put that out. But for the time being, he was handcuffed. And they marched him straight into a van, drove him for about 90 kilometers away to Virginia, where they put him in the Caroline detention facility. My brother, when Ken went in there and saw the condition of the dormitory, remember I said dormitory. So from mansion to dormitory, where he was supposed to share with some other such people, maybe some Nigerians, Cameroonians, Togolese, running away from the American immigration. He looked at it, looked at the area, nowhere to cook his own food. He would have to eat prison food. That small shack, very terrible place. They hoped that Ken would come back and tell them, you know what, I want to self-deport. But no, he decided to stay in there. My brother, my sister, he decided that he would stay and fight his case. The lawyers still approached him, spoke to him. Please, get to Ghana. Let us get to the best lawyers. He's not ready to hear that. He wants to stay in America and fight his case. As we are speaking right now, he is very, very traumatized. A man who is used to luxury. A man who has chefs all over him. There's a different chef on Monday, another one on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday when he goes to church and returns, it's a whole dinner for a king. Now, there's one chef who serves the whole prison at a time, the detention center. He's very uncomfortable. Ken OFORI-ATTA. Is he going to self-deport? He doesn't want to hear that from the mouths of the lawyers. But the Ghana embassy, as usual, decided to go there. And the ambassador of Ghana to America is Victor Smith, my own very good friend. He went all the way to the place to meet with Ken. And when Ken was told that the Ghana embassy was there, he said he would never meet the Ghana embassy without his lawyers. He wasn't ready. He's not ready for anything Ghana. Even if they put him in fire in America, he prefers that to heaven in Ghana. He would not go anywhere. So, Enayat, full name, Enayatullah Qasimi, originally from Afghanistan, where he himself had his own issues. That's one of his lawyers is defending him. He's one of the lawyers handpicked by John David Ashkoff. This is Inayet. Yes, Inayat Kasimi. His full name is Inayatullah Kasimi. He's Afghan, but he's in America because of some issues and all that. We won't go too much into his life, but they are both talking to Ken to just accept to self-deport. But he's still saying no. He won't see any Ghanaian. He's embarrassed that he is in a detention center like that. My brother, my sister, the Attorney General gave us a bit of this information. This is to confirm all that we have been telling you all this while. Remember, we're first to tell you who Ken's real lawyer was and the number of lawyers he had gathered. Remember that we told you much more. Listen to the Attorney General, and when we return, we will tell you something that you have not heard in this trial. Watch this.
Well, okay, so you know that even from day one, I didn't make this public, but I started investigating OFORI-ATTA, all right? In fact, in his case, I'm doing it with, some foreign investigators that are tracking, all the offshore dealings and so on, all right? And then, of course, we are also doing our own investigations here. They are inconclusive as we speak. I mean, we have not, come to any conclusion. So
this is different from the SML.
It's different, totally different, and potentially mind blowing. But you know that I will not, give any details at this point in time. So I started working with the Americans in respect of OFORI-ATTA long before OSP, came up with their announcement. Yeah, I started working with them. And I want Ghanaians to know that he just didn't overstay his visa. The visa was actually revoked. So it's not that OFORI-ATTA, overstayed. So in July, the American government revoked, the State Department revoked his visa, all right? And they gave him up to November 29th of 2024 to leave the United States, okay? He did not. And then that is how come that they, decided they were going to now pursue him, and arrest him. Actually, the arrest was supposed to occur on January 4th, and they did not do so. But on Tuesday, January 6th, they, apprehended him, in the Virginia area and took him into.
You're saying this is not exactly about immigration?
Yes, it's not exactly about immigration.
His visa his visa is not expired.
No, it was revoked. The visa was revoked. I am telling you this on authority. All right. The last meeting that I had with the American authorities was just 3 days ago.
His lawyers say here in Ghana say this is just a standard process.
No, it's not. It's not a. They want to give it that a twist, to make it look like there is nothing wrong. But of course, the extradition request that I sent was in respect of the OSP.
Yes, the SML matter.
Yes, but I have been working with the Americans diligently on him, and the visa was revoked, and that is how come that he lost his immigration status in the United States.
Explain to me, visa is revoked on account of you investigating him?
Something I wouldn't want to give any details, because we speak with in confidence with the Americans, but this is something that I can publicly confirm that a visa was revoked.
So in respect of his extradition, are your lawyers in America to assist the state as the Department of Justice? As we understand, there's supposed to be some 2 lawyers from your place, 2 lawyers from the OSP or so, to go and help the Americans who prosecute the case in the American courts.
Normally, we don't send our lawyers. We don't send our lawyers. We are represented because we make the request to the American authorities. So just like here, when they make a request, my office, mostly led by, my deputy, Justice Srimsai, goes to court. My lawyers go to court, and they represent the interests of the United States of America.
That's right.
And they do all the arguments, and then when, they persuade the judge grants the extradition request, and then, we extradite the person. It is going to be the same. So you see, when I said that Mr. Ken OFORI-ATTA had hired top lawyers in America to argue his case for him, and that is not going to be an easy battle trying to bring him home. People thought that I was going to the United States to face his lawyers there, and I was afraid. I'm not afraid. Paul Adomochiri did a show here where he said a Stanford lawyer, and you are afraid of lawyers in America. I'm not afraid of them.
He's not the only one who was unhappy.
No, but nobody ought to be unhappy, because John Ashcroft, the former attorney, general of the United States of America, all right, called me and said he was the one representing, Ken OFORI-ATTA in the matter. But his concerns, that the reason he called me was for me to assure him that when Ken is returned to Ghana, all right, he will get a fair trial. And I assured him of the fact that under this government, and in accordance with Article 19 of the Constitution, his right to a fair trial is guaranteed. No one is going to, Ken OFORI-ATTA is not he's not the person that will come here and we're going to treat him very shabbily and so on and so forth. He will be accorded due process of law. His fair trial rights will be guaranteed and so on. So I talked with John Ashcroft, but at the time, I could not, including the lawyer, the lawyer who granted the interview.
That's right.
So there were three of them, three lawyers who spoke to me via, a Zoom on that day when they were expressing concerns. Okay. So at that point in time, it was confidential. I could not mention John Ashcroft as his lawyer. All right. But I was simply saying that when you take the fact that he has these top lawyers coming to court in America to defend him, it is not going to be a day's work to bring him home. That's because, he will appear before, in this current matter, he will appear before an immigration judge. All right. On January 20th, he's appearing before an immigration judge.
Right.
He has a right to appeal that decision to a district court.
Right.
From the district court, he can go to a circuit court of appeals.
Yeah.
Then from there to the United States.
Well, you heard Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayene saying the same things that we said before and even now. Now, information reaching me is that Ken OFORI-ATTA has become so uncomfortable in detention, and everything is pointing to one direction, that he's returning home. Lawyers have advised him over and over to return home. He said no. Ghana embassy has gone there over and over. He said, no, I will not meet you without my lawyers. He's bent on living in America and never returning to this country. Maybe until his party comes back into power 1,000 years after. But the conditions in the prison, a man who is used to luxury, a man who is used to a good life, it looks like from conversations he's having around, he wants to risk it all and come to Ghana with the support of his American lawyers and Ghanaian lawyers. He hopes that he will be able to fly higher. But my brother, I need to remind you, this has nothing to do with the SML issue, Strategic Mobilization Limited. It has nothing to do with the OSP's extradition. It has all to do with a whole new investigation tagged the Ken OFORI-ATTA offshore investigation. And when he arrives, according to what the Attorney General has said, is going to be mind-blowing. The SML is a joke. The bigger thing is the offshore thing. And Details will start coming in. And you know where to get all these details. Right here. This is the voice of the nation. The voice of the continent. Whatever we say here is the gospel. Long before you hear it formally, this is where it breaks. To Ken OFORI-ATTA, come home and face karma. Your children are asking that you return home. If you are clean, we are all ready to support you. Ghana is not a country that torments people. It doesn't witch hunt politicians. No. We have reached a certain point of democracy where we all are excited to say you will have a fair trial. And Ghanaians are standing on the periphery watching anything that goes on that is bad. People are going to hit the streets and demonstrate. But it looks like Ken himself is not sure of where he's going. Maybe he has more dirty linen in his closet. Where ICE decided to go and put him, if you had the opportunity to see real photographs and videos, the man is mostly uncomfortable. He sits in a corner reading a book that I suspect is the Bible. When others are there playing games and all that, no. He sits in a corner and most of the time he's praying. Can I tell you one other thing before we leave? He was arrested on Tuesday, the 6th. Monday was the 5th. Sunday was the 4th. You now understand why ICE was not able to get him at home. Sunday, church. He was in church. And when ICE arrived, trying to arrest him, he was already gone. And probably a few hints came around, or he just decided to stay outside the house for a couple of days. At least the church saved him for 2 days. And when he returned, bam, is the black pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Sorry. Number 2. Watch this. Lawless Nigerian business tycoon still tormenting Ghanaians? Question mark. Lawless Nigerian business tycoon still tormenting Ghanaians? Who is this alleged lawless Nigerian business tycoon? Have you heard of him before? This is the guy. He's called Benedict Peters. But people simply call him Ben Peters. He was born in December 1966 in Nigeria. His father was a banker and his mother was a homemaker. This guy here was born into money. And he went to a university in Benin. And when he graduated in geography, he was only interested in rocks, natural formations, and the atmosphere. So he went straight away into business. Ben Peters, my brother, he's into mining, and he doesn't mine only gold. Hey, he deals in lithium, gold itself. My brother, my sister, lithium. This is what he does. He owns 2 private jets that most of the time are sitting at the so-called Kotoka International Airport. In fact, in the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was in Ghana here doing a lot of business. Do we all remember the COVID era? When it was said that some Nigerians were those in charge of the COVID and whatever testing that was happening at the airport. This was the guy. In fact, it was said controversially that a lot of scandals emanated from that COVID contract. At the end of the day, they had to cancel it in one way or the other when Ghanaians started clamoring. See, why should you give this to a Nigerian? All the money is going to another country when it should remain here. As a Pan-Africanist, I don't really have a problem. If another African is enjoying, just let it remain in Africa and I'm all right. This is Ben Peters. The COVID contract, the controversial COVID contract, that billions went to some Nigerian group, is this brother here we are talking about. I said he has 2 private jets sitting at Kotoka International Airport. Hey, his business conglomerates are spread all over West Africa and beyond. You find him in the Ivory Coast, of course, in Nigeria, in Ghana. Hey, so many different African countries. And can I tell you something? He has the biggest oil processing company in the whole of Africa, local. This guy. He's rich like mad. I'm talking about Ben Peters. And we are not joking when we talk about Ben Peters. His company is called the ITO Group. A-I-T-E-O. ITO Group. This guy. I said he is the biggest oil refining and processing giant in the whole of Africa. Local. Not international. Local. Dangote is not there yet. This is the guy. He's rich. My brother, my sister, he works with bodyguards, armed to the teeth. Oh yes. He's into oil and gas, into mining, lithium, gold, platinum, and more. This is the guy, Ben Peters. Now, we first got to know about him during the COVID, but the name was shrouded in secrecy. Then, boom, in April, it hit the major news headlines in Ghana. My Joy Online published it big time. What did they say? Nigerian businessman, 25 others arrested near Jubilee House for blocking road to an estate. And this 7th April 2025. It was published at 4:40 p.m. And the source is My Joy Online, Albert Kuzo. Run the story. Hey, I'm about to tell you things. A Ghana-based Nigerian businessman, Ben Peters, was arrested by national security operatives on Monday, April 7, near the presidential office in Ghana. Presidential office in Ghana. Alongside Peters, 25 others were also detained. They were arrested for allegedly blocking a road leading to an estate at Kanda near the Jubilee House, where several diplomats, including the Spanish ambassador to Ghana and his family, reside. Now, this was revealed by Mustafa Bande, Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House, on Joy News' Pulse. Now, according to Mr. Bande, Peters, accompanied by his personal security guards who were armed, blocked, and personal security guards, personal, all of them in suit, black suit, wielding guns and weapons of fear. You see the weapon and you're already peeing your pants. Who were armed, blocked the main entrance to the estate for more than 3 hours over an unresolved business dispute. Unresolved business dispute. So these gunmen, private, came in, bloodthirsty, ready to pull triggers. We went there, and indeed the group, numbering about 60 to 70, had flooded the area. His men were dressed in black suits and white shirts with sirens on their pickup trucks. All over the place in Ghana. I was wondering why a private individual would have such power in our country to flout our laws, act with impunity, and render citizens helpless. It is unlawful. So he was handed over to the police for further questioning, Mr. Gbande added. He also revealed that police motorbikes and an SUV were discovered while attempting to pick Peters from one of the apartments in the estate. Did you hear that? Police motorbikes and SUVs privately owned by Peters. So he had his own empire in Ghana. When questioned about his unlawful actions, Peter claimed to own several apartments in the estate, but said the estate developer had refused to provide him with extra keys to access the various facilities, which prompted him to block the road to draw attention and gain access to the keys. Listen, he decided to demonstrate with guns, sirens, in order that somebody will give him the keys. He didn't go to the police. He is his own policeman. After all, he has guns and he has money. Can you believe this? About 20 to 25 individuals were arrested, including Ben Peters and another white man who was found in his apartment when we arrived, Mr. Gbande stated. Initial reports claimed that the main perpetrator resisted arrest until Ibrahim Mahama, the brother of President John Mahama, arrived on the scene, at which point he finally surrendered. Who was the main perpetrator? Ben Peters. He said, lie, nobody can arrest me. Me. You are joking. You know how much I've invested in this country? Go to your tarmac and see. The most beautiful place there are owned by me. I have a processing company, outfit, factory, which is the biggest in the whole of Africa, owned by a local man. I have companies all over Africa, more than 17 countries. How dare you put handcuffs on me? He called Ibrahim Mahama. And he arrived. Ibrahim said, as his brother would always say, the law is the law. My brother, cool down. And he was taken away. However, Mr. Gbande said the brother of the president was not there. Rather, when Peters was overpowered with extra force from the Greater Accra Police Command, he had no way. So you see, Ibrahim was not even there. And he would have said the same thing like his brother. The law is the law. My brother, my sister, dash this away. Now let's go to City News and look at the reportage. We will see videos of how Peters was arrested and the chaos that ensued in the area. But watch this. When Elton Broby, host of the Pulse, asked what business Ben Peters was involved in, Mr. Gbande revealed, allegedly, this is the man who President Akufo-Addo used to run the COVID infrastructure project. He was the one managing the office, handling COVID infrastructure, the same individual everyone was paying. We cannot allow foreigners to treat us with such disregard. We shouldn't run a country where individuals can hold an entire community to ransom. Dash it away. My brother, now let's go to City News and watch what happened on the day. Look at the violence. April 7, watch this.
It took a combined team of military, police and national security operatives to arrest Ghana-based Nigerian businessman Ben Peters on Monday. Mr. Peters was arrested alongside several individuals believed to be working for him after unlawfully blocking the entrance to the Aurora apartments at Kanda near the Jubilee House. Channel 1 News' Jude Duncan has more.
National security operatives in a joint operation have arrested a Nigerian businessman Ben Peters at the Aurora apartment in Kanda near the Jubilee House. The arrest was led by the Director of Operations at the National Security Secretariat, Richard Jakpa. Mr. Peters, along with several unidentified armed men, had reportedly used their vehicles to block the main entrance to the residential facility, denying access to other occupants. When City News arrived at the scene, multiple armed military and police personnel were attempting to restore access and effect the arrest. A police towing truck was later brought in to forcibly remove the vehicles obstructing the entrance. According to the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, Mustafa Gbande, the action by Mr. Peters followed his request for extra keys to his personal apartment, which was denied by management of the apartment.
So we got a distress call in the morning that Mr. have blocked this residence all the way from there up to there into the house. The residents cannot move out, they cannot come in. He did so with his own built army of young men in quotes, and also with vehicles using police sirens. Currently, as we have checked, so we had a couple of apartments in the morning. They refused to come down, and then we searched and got to them. Currently, after searching, we realized that we've got a number of vehicles, SUVs down there, and also using a police dispatch motorbike.
When the security officers found him, was he armed? Did he have weapons on him?
Well, he couldn't have been armed because we went inside with the full purpose of getting him. One, to unblock the residence, and two, to ensure that he is taken to the police station. And currently we have done that. He is being taken to the police station. And so arrangements have been done to evacuate all the vehicles for further investigation. Well, it's not just on tour, it's on unlawful conduct, blocking. This is a commercial property.
So this is Mr. Benedict Peters, born in December 1966. He decided to block the whole entrance. Residents couldn't go in, neither could they come out. Gunmen, my brother, my sister, as reported by City News Room and also by Joy. Look how the entrance was blocked. Nobody could enter. Gunmen, all in suit, caused a whole big commotion. My brother, but has Peter stopped this? Remember, he is the founder and CEO of ITO Group and Bravura Holdings. He is a rich man. He can employ just anybody he wants. He's invested a lot in the country and many other African countries. He's a man who must be secured. That is understandable. But is he overstepping his boundaries? Is this how they behave in Nigeria? You can block any street and any road because you have money? Or you are so important, more important than every other person. You inconvenience every other person because of your own convenience. Now, let me take you to a place called Nesta. Yes, Nesta Square. This is Nesta Square. It was built by Ernest Chemits. And in this building, you find Kenyan Airways, Rwanda, and Delta Airlines, and many other such corporate outfits. This is at the airport city. My brother, my sister, it is sitting on a huge piece of land. I am told that Peters has his office there, and anytime he is going to his office, sirens. At the same time, all these guys in suit wearing guns, they go to the place and block every other person from accessing the building. And his office is up there. My brother, my sister. So when he's going, he uses the lift. When he's going to use the lift, no other person has the right to use the lift. He blocks everybody. From Delta Airlines to Kenya Airways, Rwanda, and even Ernest Chemist itself. Up till now. How true is this? And to make it worse, bring back that photo. You realize that there's a car park in there. When Ben Peters is entering there and is parking, no other person parks. Everybody stands aside for him to park and park properly. And he takes a whole space. Even if it's not fully parked, no other cars are supposed to enter there. and his gunmen are always standing there to make sure that his whims and caprices are met. We had complaints from all these people. Delta Airways, that's Delta Airlines, Kenyan Airways, Rwanda. The people in there have confirmed this thing that I'm talking about. Well, I placed a call to national security and I asked Mustafa Bande, are you aware that this man is still doing some aspects of the lawlessness that he was involved in? And you and your boys go there to restore order? He said, oh, all we know right now is that he's behaving well. Everything is okay. We have not heard of anything unless this is new. But he's been behaving well. It was during the Nana Addo government that he had so much power to do whatever he liked. They didn't really give him a good orientation as to how the country behaves itself. But my brother, law is law. Do you need any orientation? What you cannot do in America, don't expect to do it here. What you cannot do in Nigeria, don't expect it to do here lawfully. I don't think the laws of Nigeria allow people to block roads with gunmen all over the place, holding and wielding guns. Personal security, private security, guns and ammunition. Is it allowed in the country that people can hold guns like that? I mean, weapons. I'm not talking about just pistols, guns, and wield that with sirens. Whatever it is, my brother, my sister, the people of Leicester Square are not comfortable with the actions of Benedict Peters. I appreciate the fact that he is an investor in our country. We love him, we respect him, and we believe that he would have to respect us reciprocally, right? We believe that he should be able to give us back the respect we are giving to him. Yes, we want the investors to come here, but not investors that will flout our rules. Not investors who would not have any respect for us. Money is not everything. We love money, but we love humanity more. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushodomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. Hey ya! Hey you! Wayo!
Blackpot, Kukushonama.
It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. If you have not as yet subscribed to the channel, please, 1 second, hit on the subscription button. Right after that, on the notification bell, so that each time we are on, you will be reminded to watch. Please share the broadcast so many more people can be part of this. I apologize for the late start of the show. It was due to technical issues. I do apologize. Okay? Story number 3. Watch this. OKATAKYIE KWAME AFRIFA descends mercilessly on OFORI-ATTA Paul YANDOH. Now, OKATAKYIE KWAME AFRIFA is a gentleman that I love. He has a lot of respect for me, and I respect him. When he meets me, he calls me senior. That means that he believes that I'm older than him, or maybe I have been in the space longer than him. I respect him. I really love him. Okay? He's another man who is so vocal and he speaks his mind. He's an NPP guy. And aside that, he is also a man who loves to speak his mind. It doesn't matter whether his party is taking the shots or another party. A lot of the time, he likes to be nationalistic rather than being partisan. And I like him for that. My brother, my sister, this is the guy. Recently, we heard that he was in the United States studying. We wish him all the best. This is OKATAKYIE KWAME AFRIFA. Remember, we did a story about this guy called Paul YANDOH. And we said that it's an embarrassment that a party like the NPP would pick this guy with no common sense and no brains to be the Ashanti Regional Communications Director. Whenever this man starts to talk, it's one buffoonery to another buffoonery. And a lot of radio stations called him because he would misbehave for them to laugh. And again, I made it clear. The only person that Abronye is better than when it comes to communication in the NPP is this guy called Paul YANDOH. I've never met him. I only listened to him. And we played a tape in which he was talking about the gold board, remember? He was talking about the fact that, they were talking about some losses, 214 million American dollar losses. And they called this guy to talk. How do you call a man with very little understanding of the issues? So he read spirituality into the whole thing. He said that he believed that difficult as it is to deal with gold, Sami Jefi and his boys might have gone to buy spiritual gold. What is spiritual gold? Gold that you buy and you reach home and it's not there. For him, he was sure that this was what caused the loss. Or maybe they fought and some of the gold got stolen. Or the ship that brought the gold, some of it fell in the sea. Such buffoonery. Serious national issues. This is a party communicator. And this was what he said. For me, he didn't show any seriousness. And if the NPP was not this terrible and bad, a disgrace to politics in Ghana, this guy should never be near anything called communication. That tape is only 1 minute long. Let's listen to what he said. Right after that, we'll hit it very hard. Watch this.
Onye no honya adwuma na god adwuma de ne ye dey o se honhom samu di god wachi o ti ase ebi ode ko no ebi yirai ebi ode ko no okoto honhom de ne bi o ti ase ene no efiri mu amana anso ana se obi ekoka no toko na bi hwe egu ye ana se shape ode ko no ene bi eye no ehwe egu we ni god adwuma hon sam edoso papa pa minuaba.
My brother, this is Paul YANDOH. And that was what he said. Now, when we talked about it, OKATAKYIE heard it. And he got so mad and so angry that his party, the beloved NPP, has descended this low. And he was hot on the heels of Paul YANDOH. Apart from that, he also talked about Ken OFORI-ATTA angrily. Angrily. We were even mild on Paul YANDOH. He opened fire, all cylinders. Watch this.
The leadership of MPP, minimum uncommon. I think it is high time, sir, and there may be a cause within the party. I must not be tolerated at any shape or form. And this guy called Paul YANDOH must be called to order. Sabin previous, I will restrain myself, but Jimino Adolsododo. Forgive me for using that word, but that is the only word that makes me aka. But when I say Jimino Adolsododo, it is not even about say Obeka Sesame Jemfi I don't care. People must have opinions, different opinions within a political party. So even his opinion, say or susu say Same Jemfi he should be able to express it without any fear or favor. That is okay. But what is not acceptable and what is not okay? And this says your political party more. Now all of a sudden, party ane eya akono. Party ana your friend or a crutch for party. And then within the rank and file of NPP no. So we pay comedian within the political space. You don't call any mean a person. And yes, serial caller now friend. You are calling the communications director of the NPP in no mean a region as Ashanti region. And he has become a symbol of comedy. And the leadership of the party don't see anything wrong with it. Look at from top of NDC to down. NDC or your officer Bena Obiena no wakasa. The only thing that people can come up with, yes, yes, communications officer of the NPP in Ashanti region. And now said Panwa be a symbol of comedy within the Ghanaian political space. Opesa we ye comedy appear stadium to way or ye comedy for political sake in here, and he is surviving, he is okay. But you cannot occupy a position as Asante Regional Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party. And anytime you better on our radio and TV so then it's about concert. Yafro Asante Regional Communications Director, National Discourse, Brabe Kabi. Akawoka say it should be clear with the direction the nation is going. Wouldn't you know that the concert and I go to no home bonia juma and I go to na bay forum so they can be here. You don't do research, you don't do anything. Gradually making the MPP look like a laughing stock as a party. So your comedy, go and do comedy in Ghanaian politics. It is okay, but you cannot hold a political office such as a communications director of the NPP in Ashanti region and be what you are doing. Ni Afre Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the party. Brabeka bi ni ye the direction of mine echo. And look at the concert he's doing. And nobody sees anything wrong with this. And such a character says he wants to be the Ashanti Regional Secretary. Ashanti Region no ne churo for MPP no the stronghold no ne churo for no abeye symbol of comedy in Ghanaian politics. Na tantan de yen sa no. For YANDOH why na wan this ma obi na no kasa wo ye concept se wo. No. And yama tantan be ne party no a na wotu won sa na ayi FF Antomo ye party no Ashanti Region ke be wakono am join. Yafro as communications director of the NPP in Ashanti Region. Me hu ye kwa ye research. Oba and you speak to issues. And the MPP a drum pempenswa concert nko a And the leadership of the party, many could be a much one about how we yes and concert. Party ni mu ya wonya kono sisi. Aye bompa say, ye bet me a reason. I'm a man for no kwado. What nonsense of years that any idea no. And this is supposed to be the Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the MPP. Say ebi a ode ba no ekoto honhom ebi a ode ba no ebi to pumu na any idea no. Why are we turning our party into a joke? President Kufuor party na wode oti Ashanti region ho sebi predu say Jimmy sa na de be no. Ah? Ya na ya adwen say party in baby abedu some of the things we probably won't say it in public. And we you be afen ye nyina yesere. And the party gradually is losing its image. Motu ana mu blame H kwesi prempene Franklin Kujumo ne H kwesi prempene say Professor Azam say omo nka bi mamo. How can one be bi mamo when mu behave tantansi? Na mo sorry amu de money bra kosue wo communications director wontimi nya research and speak to issues. Now sorry anamu de money bra kosue Professor Kwaku Azaso. So 1 year ye tria Professor Kwaku Azamoka. See ye tria Professor Kwaku Azamoka nti no maka omanu atuma. Ni ye ntia ba mu 8 years. Ada no man hwe omo. Ye de say you gina hensa so wonya sa adwuma no. Enye ne yire no one ne kokoma ne gi ho ajapade nyina. As a party ni hwe so fo no bia ye de wo pe. Onyonkon so ti ho. Wo ba ya wo bu amamuo. Ken OFORI-ATTA. Ken baby a wo di ade na mu wo gu party nanimu ase. Ugu party nanimu ase. Ugu party nanimu ase. Eti ken dane wonsa anasa resign. Men resign tintintiniti. Men resign tintintiniti. No gina faako. Ken OFORI-ATTA resign na party no baby MPs mago afedie mintimi nya me ma ho. Untimi nya ma ho na de wagya o makoro no ho akwa buruchiri. Say ye ne ye che okura ne ade a wo ye papa nko anim nte. Ah? Ye che ne yegu nko anim asia. The fact that you have refused to even to come and answer to your questions, it goes ahead to dent the image of the MPP as though MPP are Kromfo party. Mo ye ka kire mo. E matan time be na mo ye ne sa no. Awo bia nsuro bia wo. Ya ne ya adwene se party no enema bo. Ba nema bo wo a esem panimfo timi sebre wo mano ka. Second OFORI-ATTA wabu man no yie na wa ye nema na wo nwia ya. Bra be yi wa no keke. Eno so akoye bo achi bidi. Go party nanimu asesa. Go party nanimu asesa wo bia ntimi nka no kore. Ama MPP party ne nya kono biu. Adai. Ah, edi nneema na moye ne saa no. Adai. Wabu amamuo papa bra ne beyi wano. Ne ntimi build confidence in the party against ye buy ni ya mewia obia. Afena entente na me ma na me yare na wo yare a wani masuaso akora kufu e ka say resign. Wani masuaso when it was so visible so wo yare ya ka say resign. Never moment nipa ho tete no because party no mon care about them benya from nyina manya wi. Ana nchirima na mom yebre ese MPP party ni nya akono. Middle class of the country ni person be join MPP. Cause of sebi nioma hunu tantanya po YANDOH ene ne nkrofo say wuntumi ye the whole region ya shawonsa. Wo be a symbol of comedy. Mini go nchero no you go that table so and nobody could tell him say hey my friend we don't do that in this party.
Well, visibly he's not happy. He's very angry. He doesn't like what Paul YANDOH is doing. The Ashanti Regional Director of Communications has become a symbol of comedy. If you want to do comedy, go and join Apia Stadium and do that. But you can't be the director of communications for the party. Ashanti region, they are so-called World Bank, and me be misbehaving like this. And then he went into OFORI-ATTA. He said, when you were visibly sick, everyone saw that you had a swollen face from an inflated liver. You refused to resign because you knew what you were getting from it. Now that you have had everything that you wanted from your position, you are refusing to come home. If you are truly clean, come home and answer questions. There's nothing at home here that will eat you up. OKATAKYIE has spoken his mind, and you know, these are some of the things that he does. And I truly applaud him. He's descended on his party. He has said time and again why he doesn't think OFORI-ATTA and even Akufo-Addo should ever be seen in the political space again. They have been a disgrace to the NPP and a disgrace to the party. He said it over and over. Today, my brother, my sister, I chose this tape so that we will all learn that if you belong to a political party, doesn't mean that everything the party does is right. Wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who perpetrates it. Party communicators are not supposed to be yes men. They are supposed to have brains and think. Any party man who is a yes man is a zombie. He's a puppet on a string. He doesn't have his own brains to think. This is what OKATAKYIE is saying. The party is not attractive anymore. It's become a concert party. And unfortunately, they would be in opposition for so long. Today, we are all waiting patiently to have OFORI-ATTA come home. As for Paul YANDOH, well, he's a beneficiary of our political system in Ghana, where the so-called communicators, who I call miscommunicators, are paid only to talk, not to think. So radio stations just want to hear you talk, not to think and make sense. Just talk. That's why Abronye, Paul YANDOH, and all those people are still useful to their parties. This one is not there. They have this 10 of this 10. You might think that they have a head with brains, crack their heads open. It's air and more mouths in their head to talk more. Shout and shout. It's the Blakk pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. When we return, we have a final story and we are done. Hey ya! Hey you! Wayo!
Blakk pot, Kukushonama.
Blakk pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please hit on the subscription button. Right after that, you hit on the subscription bell. Yes, the notification bell. So that each time we are on, you'll be reminded to watch. And please share the broadcast. And remember to recommend us to family and friends. This is the headquarters of the truth. Okay? Now let's look at your comments. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. Maybe you have a certain story you want us to follow up on. We are most excited to do that. Okay? We'll follow up on the story. We don't charge you anything. We don't take anything from you. It's all in the service of God and country, okay? Ben Azu says it's time. Conscious Agbe Menu also says, I have been waiting for so long. Give thanks you are finally here, my guru. Ready, we are ready. I'm more fire. Sorry about that. Kwame Kwashi says, Black Empire Media, the mecca of the truth. The pot is ready. The ingredients are ready. We are ready to make the palatable dish for Ghana. Thank you so much. Joshua Kolete Wago says, Jagide, okay? Jagide, my brethren, Black Rasta. Kwame Kwashi says, Black, may the spirits of our ancestors continue to protect you. And Kwame Kwashi says, come here. Wayoy. Kojo Eson says, can't wait, Black Rasta. Speak conscious to the people, them. Kwame Kwashi is back. He says, let the horn of truth sound, Black. Okay? Thank you so much. We appreciate you. He says, our country or nothing. Notre pays ou rien. Asafwache. Ni ayi kakalo says greetings and a new year. Have a new year, okay? Patawo says greetings, Black Rasta. Joseph Kuma Amega says 100%. Akana Yozura says fire, yabo. More fire. More comments coming in. All right, they could come via YouTube or they could come via Facebook. Joe DK Quiz says I've long awaited because of addiction to the truth. Please forgive us, okay? Godwin Mawuduji Agbemafle says, Amu fire. Kwame Kwashi says, Black, can you follow up on the former Georg Boss's case, Kofi Juma? For real. It's good. You brought it up. Watch it out in the next few days. I love that. Okay? Isa Yesu says, good evening, Black Rasta. We love the good work you are doing for your country. Mother Ghana, keep it up. Black Rasta, more fire. We love you. Okay? More comments. And who is this? Let me try and find out who you are. Okay, man of God. He says, Aglana Kombir says, tell them, Pakwesio Wusupi says, NPP is not democratic, but just the white man's puppet. Arafat Ramos Imoro says, OFORI-ATTA is worse, more than the devil. Fidelis Abiba says, she's watching, okay? Stella Wilson Anand says, keep the good work. Okay. David Adum says, I am watching from Liberia. Koku Beckley says, seen. All right. And then we have Lawson. Yes. Ronald Lawson. So tell me more, my brother, my sister. Agbashi Victor says, keep on with the good work for Mother Ghana. Fuseni Ibn Swala says, good work, Black. Pakwesi Owusu says, OFORI-ATTA has become a thorn in the NPP's flesh in disguise. Because of OFORI-ATTA and Baumia, the party is no more attractive. And Nanado himself. Aglana Komber says, he can run but cannot hide. What are the people who said Ken was not going to be here? Now I'm glad that you've seen a lot of action when we broke the news and told you that the Attorney General was looking at another way of bringing this man. This was what we're talking about. You see, sometimes I keep telling you, it's a little painful when you know the thing and you can't say it because you are not supposed to say it. But that's professional, isn't it? So you see what's happening. Attorney General wasn't lying. McCarthy Courage says, Black more fire. Too strong, says Ejapa Mesa is running his mouth all over the place. Is he a fool? Forgetting that you even have to account to your wife, like it or not. Okay, I don't know about that. We'll check it out. Then McCarthy Courage says, more fire. Tom Post says, hello, Black. I thought you were not coming today. Yes, I apologize. We had technical problems right in the studio. A whole heap of problem. But, you know, we sorted it out. Do forgive us. Franklin Safu says, good evening, boss. I think that OFORI-ATTA lawyer is more corrupt than OFORI-ATTA himself because clearly he can see that Ken is guilty but just playing mind games. And also, can you please share with us if OFORI-ATTA has maybe offered the U.S. government to invest in the economy with the millions Donald Trump said if someone invested in the economy, he would get a citizenship. Thank you. My brother, at this point, investment cannot save him. It's a collaboration between Ghana and America. America is enjoying from that collaboration. We must also enjoy. They use our country to be able to achieve some ends. You get it? It's not about money now. It's about the friendship. America, I told you what happened in the conversation. We did this for you, we did this for you, we did this for you. Look at how many people we have sent to you because you wanted them via the FBI. We want this guy. All they did, one or two things, check the health, the hospital where OFORI-ATTA was there, got a few things, and hey, we have revoked your visa. Simple. It's our country. We say we don't want you, go back to your country. We give you up to the end of November to leave. And lawyers told him, don't ignore this. Go, we will come and support you. He said, no, I paid you to let me stay here. You see? Aglana Conver says, yeah, if he hides, his white shirt will expose him. Okay, I know what you mean. Emmanuel Ania says, hi Blakk, today you are super late. Yes, we apologize. Technical problems, please. Kweku Shre Jaffe says, welcome the African teacher. We speak truth to power because the people's lives matter. Quack Special Prosecutor says, killer Betria. Okay. Quack Special Prosecutor is smiling. Rudolph Basigayem says, it's last. Okay, at last, I must watch, God willing, tomorrow. Okay, I think he wanted to say it's late. I must watch, God willing, tomorrow. I believe today's stories are special, and that took a lot of time getting all the information. I'll surely come for my share tomorrow, God willing. Oh, Rudolph, I'm sad that you couldn't watch it live, but I do understand you. We are technical errors, problems, okay? And Emmanuel Ania says, when Blakk starts this late, it means serious underground work had to happen so that the facts can be presented to us. Thank you so much. Quack Special Doctor says, Prosecutor says, killer Betria. And then the General says, what about Sedinam Tamaklo? When is she also being extradited? Yes, it's been worked on, I am told. And because you asked, we are going to push it even harder. It's always been in our own interest to bring her home. Yes, she will come home. She's an embarrassment to women. You know. Quack Special Prosecutor says, killer Betria. And Yao Adobo says, good evening, my professor. Samuel Sunday says, good evening, Blakk. You are late to the class today, more fire. We apologize. Raskaba says the Black Pot with Black Rasta himself, more fire. Yusuf Banson says, Black Rasta will love you. Samuel Sunday says, I will not stop reminding you on the case of the late JB Dankwa. And were you able to get in contact? Certainly we did. And as I told you, we are going to, investigate a few things and then we'll hit. Keep reminding us. Thank you. Okay? Emmanuel Ania says, Blakk, the king of exclusives. Thank you. Luis Oklu says, welcome, Professor. And then Godwin Yabame says, the Black Pot, Kukushonomo, ready for the salivating meal tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And Raskaba says, OFORI-ATTA is more than just a criminal. And no matter what he does, he will go to jail. Godwin Yabame says, come here. Rose Asari says, OFORI-ATTA. I like that. Okay, Samuel Sunday says, I think the NDC is repeating the same mistake as the NPP when the president refused to sack OFORI-ATTA when the nation was crying for his removal. You see, Mahama is also refusing to remove the OSP. No. Mahama did not appoint the OSP. And Mahama says any such removal must be in due process. People have written to Mahama. He's also going to give it out to the right authorities. They will also go through it and then due process will be done. He can't just get up and say, go. He wasn't the one who put him there. Remember, it's an independent body. He has a procedure. Okay? All right? So please, take it easy. Okay? Elias Auku says, more fire. Michael Asante says, Ken and OSP. They are the same. I see. All right, Raskaba says, my big brother Black Rasta himself, I always pray that Almighty Allah keeps protecting you and guiding you, inshallah. Thank you so much. Emmanuel Ania says, Blakk, so what can make you change your mind about the NPP? When Nanado was here, we supported Nanado. So we only need good leadership. The mind that is nationalistic. That's all. We started to support Ken in one way or the other. can. But he also messed up. He has refused to apologize for those tribal comments. And when you ask him, he say, but Bawumia is doing it too. Say, what kind of reasoning is that? Bawumia is doing it. That's why we rejected him. That you two have gone to join, so we have rejected you too. No, I can't have a president like that. No. You understand? Yeah. So Emmanuel Ania says, when can we change our mind? And when? We just told you that. Ama Nyameba says, come here. All right. Samuel Sunday says, Blakk, what about the issue of the stolen ECG containers? I'm told that the current administration is just playing with our emotions. They can't jail even a fowl. Well, I was told that some of them were found and all that. It came out that a lot of them were found and all that. But we shall go into it as well and find out where it is right now. Okay, where the story is right now. Okay, thank you so much. And Isaac Labi says, Bosu, the intro of some of your stories are too much. Always repeating intros. Why? Thank you. We'll look at that. Okay. Ali Salfu says, good evening. Emmanuel Ania says, Blakk, any updates about Eduboyeni, Gifty, Oware? And oh yes, they'll be going to court. So we are waiting for them to go to court. But we have an exclusive on Gifty this week. Exclusive. Gifty Oware. So watch it out. You know we are the home of exclusives. Okay? Rosa Sari is smiling, and Ama Nyamiba says, my brother, my sister. And then Ama Nyamiba says, Wayo. Emmanuel Ania says, Blakk, I suggest when you are too late, you should minimize your intro and go straight to the point. Okay. I hear you. Thank you. Hey, these intros. Ama Nyamiba says, MPP. May all corrupt politicians face their karma. Thank you, Ama. Thank you. We appreciate you. And fresh. As Oxy guy, fresh Oxy guy. It's an Oxy, you know, Australia. You know, fire me, brother. Okay. Henry Asankoma says, respect. All your dissections are authentic. Thank you, my brother. And Testimony 1 says, Wayo, keep the good work, watching you live from the UK. And his name is Moses. Thank you so much, Moses. And then we have Sherry Vo Jogbe. Beautiful name. You are only repeating what you said 3 days ago. Which one of the stories? We always have an X factor. So find the X factor. When we repeat, it means that we are just trying to keep you refreshed, like a preacher man. You understand? No, we are not repeating. Check it out. If you had told me which of the stories, I would have told you the X factor or the new things in that story. You know, but I think you've made a point. Raskaba says, it's a beautiful Monday and Professor Blakk is in class. Speak truth to power. And then Property Zone GH says, OFORI-ATTA is a mafia. Okay, so let me look at the repeating the same thing. If it's a OFORI-ATTA story, we have something new to tell you. And the new thing in the OFORI-ATTA story is not the fact that he has been arrested. We told you how ICE missed him the first time they went there on the 4th. And we told you how his lawyers spoke to him and begged him to come to Ghana. And he still saying no, even in detention. We never said that. Thirdly, we told you that the Ghana embassy went there 3 times. They said no, he wouldn't meet them. Their lawyer must be there. And even when the lawyer was there, he still said he would meet. So you see, we always update. I do understand. We don't waste your time. We will not waste your time. Never. Exclusives. And we keep getting better. We keep getting better. You tell us, and we look at that, and yeah, you want us to go straight and all that. But professionally, we need to take you around so you grasp it properly. Okay? Bernard Semenu says, our teacher is late today. Your teacher apologizes. JDSGA says, greetings, Blakk. We are live. Woyoy. Amanya Meba says, this oral, I have lost hope in it. Don't lose hope in oral. It's through the oral that we are seeing this Chairman Wood to me and all those people. So easy, yeah? Always press conference, and going to court every day. None of them will be jailed. They should be jailed even when they pay back the money. Okay, so we will see. Okay? JDSGH is our country or nothing. Wayo, not to pay urient. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunemu, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. This is the Black Pot. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. We love to do business. And at the same time, if you have any story that you want us to follow up on, we are ready to do that. Final story, and keep your comments coming in. Story number 4. Watch this. Inside info on why Kennedy AGYAPONG cried and cursed transport minister in public. Now there's a tape making the rounds. Kennedy AGYAPONG gets so emotional talking about one Isiama. And this Isiama was a transport minister in the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he wept. Let us go straight to the tape. When we return, hey, I have information for you. Watch this.
I feel so guilty. I don't see what you want. In your man, me, my yama, Esiama. Esiama. And ne, Esiama wakukudro. Chimijina hoye campaign ya. Yanko bombe kama sinuwa. Na mene kachiramo. Obia woni nkaye. Nye yiye. Ubetinye nye wiase nyoma nyina. You lose it. Baby am fa ni free. Ewa ha. Oni honorable aye call contest. The first time I'm who no. Now she suit. Omubo draw. MISA kotu biem. Nka mo yaw. Maami baako omu serve aduane. Odi ye ena nketrepa. Atwen ena owu. E ba sa no pe na nkete se crutch. Baby ye ko jai. Nefa MP ni man ne bedi mechi. He was a good friend. But when you are post, or the junior and I was going to his office all the time. But then, wow. But a natural justice. The punishment a Siama will get is a natural justice. But a natural justice. Where I picked him, me, and the main secret in Jrom. Honorable Cecilia Dapa, and the Ministry of Transport, a man, and none a Siama till date, Cecilia Dapa, in your.
This is Ken OFORI-ATTA. I beg your pardon. This is Kennedy AGYAPONG. Today is all about Ken OFORI-ATTA. This is Kennedy AGYAPONG. He wept. He wept. Now, Kweku OFORI-ATTA. This gentleman, in fact, he used to go to Ken's house, wash his cars. Oh, Massa, boss, Massa. He will come. Ken will come trying to enter into his car. He will be the one to open the gate, polish his shoes and all that. And Ken realized that, well, this man wants to get close to me. So he took him under his arms and that he made him part of the family, I am told. We have photos of him and Ken in the days. As Ken told you, this man contested with one Honorable Aye and couldn't make it. And what happened? Ken took him up and said, you know what? I will push for you to get a position. Nana Akufo-Addo told Kennedy Japan, I'm giving you a ministerial position. These are those available. Which one do you want? And he said, I want the transport. He said, but transport, I've given it out already. I said, these are those ones available. Transport is not available. He said, that's the one I want. He said, okay, let me see what I can do. Nana Addo had already given that post to Cecilia Dapaah. But he spoke with Cecilia Dapaah, and Dapaah didn't like the idea that she was going to be removed from the transport. That year, first tenure of office of Nana Addo, he split the transport into two. Transport, and then the other one, aviation. It's the same thing. Transport is transport. Whether it's by sea or by road or by air, it is transport. But Nana Addo, because he wanted to satisfy Cecilia Dapaah, he split the transport into two. Transport and then aviation, two ministries, and gave one to Cecilia Dapaah. And now Ken was told to come and take the transport, and he brought Esiama there. According to him, in the tape, the moment Esiama got the post, and he moved on once, twice, thrice, he started making money. He started disregarding Ken, disrespecting him in one way or the other. Meanwhile, Cecilia Dapaah stopped talking to Ken because she had heard that he was the one responsible for her ministry being split into two, and she only had aviation. But Nana Addo promised her, don't worry. After the first tenure, I'll give you another position that will make you happy. She was Nana Addo's darling girl. You remember when Cecilia Dapaah was even alleged to have stolen so much money? After we found so much money in her house, Nana Addo came and said, you shall be exonerated. I know who you are. So, Esiama is in the camp of Bawumia now. And Ken is not angry, according to insiders. His problem is that Esiama can still go out and insult him on campaign platforms. He said, I know what democracy is. If you want to join Bawumia, join Bawumia. Talk about the good things of Bawumia. But when you go out there and insult me, it means you have forgotten all the good things I did for you. That's why Ken said, Oninkaye, and that everything that he has gained through him, he shall lose it. That's a curse, even though he said, can I tell you more? Another guy that Ken is so unhappy with is the former Greater Accra regional boss, the minister, Henry Kwate. Henry Kwate wanted to buy a house in Philadelphia and went to Ken. And we have pictures of them, in the house on the day that he went. But I don't see that to be so necessary. So we shan't publish them. And Ken wrote a check of $50,000 American and gave to Kwate and said, this is my contribution. He gave to his boy, who drove all the way to Philadelphia from New York to go and give to Henry Kwate. And Henry Kwate bought the house. Sadly, Henry Kwate just lost his son in America. He wasn't so well, and then he passed on. Our condolences to you. He's also on the campaign platform And he's against Ken. And from Ken's camp, he's also throwing insults and disrespecting Ken. As to how true this is, those of you following the campaign trail, that is what it is. It looks like a number of people have decided to turn their backs on Ken. And most of the time he believes that because he's helped them before, naturally they should follow him. But he says, no, that is not it. If they follow me, that is good. But if they don't, I don't expect them to go around insulting me because I have fed them before and helped them. Because of Esiama, this woman causes that the pa doesn't talk to me. And Esiama himself has turned against me and he's disrespecting me on campaign platforms. Whatever he gained through me, he shall lose it. Remember Ken and his very good friend, AGYAPONG, a lot of people have turned their backs to him. And he's not happy about it. His problem is that it's democracy, but don't disrespect me. Like AGYAPONG said, we don't want a man who will go to the UN and before you hear, you say, "Malafaka! Malafaka!" Excuse my French. He says, Ken can never be predicted. And I think that is a fair enough comment. I don't think Ken should have been angry about that. It's a fair comment. Yes, you get angry sometimes and you use some of these words and you don't care where you are. You can use them. But for Esiama, he has gone ahead to curse him. He said whatever he has gained through him, he will lose everything. Ken seems to be very, very angry. How about Henry Kwati? The $50,000 American check for his house there in Philadelphia. We have photos of the house, but it's not necessary. We won't publish that. Are they going to find a way of coming together? Should Ken win the election, primaries, will they find their way, retrace their footpaths back to Ken? How are they going to make peace? Is Ken going to accept them? It looks like the NPP is being divided permanently. And a house that is divided against itself, the Bible says, shall not stand. It's the black pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. Final comments, and we're done. Tompo says, I have never seen any Ghana case again. These politicians won by Ghana, never. And Glana Kombir says, now using our money to fight us. If it is finished, then he will come home. He will enter the bars, the prison. Tompo says, you will see it now. Okay? And I say, I think so, bro. Okay. All right. More comments coming in. And we have Francis. And this is more fire. Fresh Oxy Boy. He says, Black, oh, Black Rasta. The Rastafarian with loss of knowledge. Francis Ninja says, Black Rasta, do you know you are making mistakes by talking about security issues on air? This Nigerian bombing, you shouldn't have said it. That is common knowledge. It's all over the place. It's all over. It is all over. Just read a little. You see it. So it's in the public domain. So take it easy, okay? Kwesi Pratt has spoken about it over and over. Everybody has spoken about it. Okay? We know what is national security threat and what. But I mean, thank you for drawing my attention to this. I appreciate that. Okay? TN says, come here. Bernard Semenu says, Francis, you are right. Okay. Johnson Levi says, Black, you have been consistent from day one. And I'm happy a lot of people are trooping to your channel. Very patriotic. Oh, Johnson, thank you. Have you subscribed though? Have you recommended us to family and friends? Thank you. I appreciate you. And who is this? Let me see. Zure, yes, is here. Says the Attorney General is very smart and is really a Zwarungu boy. Kamshina said, Black Rasta more fire. Tom posted, why is OFORI-ATTA running away from his shadow? If he thinks he's done nothing wrong, he should come. Ras Oko Kofi Sumun says, come here, watch it, dash it away. Pakweso Usu PSA says, it is only a bad one that runs away without anyone chasing him. Okay, more comments. Okay, Bar 4 says, Black, the Nigerian team is over the bar. You shouldn't have said it. Well, it is all over. A lot of blogs have mentioned it. All the big news outlets have said there's a collaboration between Ghana and Nigeria. And also, and Nigerians know that. I don't know why this is new, but it is there. Anyway, we hear you. We hear you. Talk about Amevi says, Blackpot, move of fire. I'm watching you from Togo. Talk about Amevi. Amevi says, Black, you are too much. Bernard Sembewu says, I'm watching you near Ken. And Godwin says he's a wicked man. He's a wicked man, eh? Wow. And Isaac here says the law must hold him now. Togbi Amevi is laughing. And Aston Martin says, come here. And then we have a Majestica. I like that. I am happy you are doing this issue. Where is this guy? He had a motorcade in Ghana. He has the politicians in his pocket. Rumor is that he carried our gold in his helicopter. Bro. Dubai. Let us see. Okay. Majestica says, this Peter guy was literally running our country. Dangerous guy. He had his own motorcade, diplomatic passport, Ghana passport. Why is the NDC quiet about this guy? Well, I told you I spoke with the national security and Mustafa Gbande told me that he's calm, everything is okay. But we have no complaints. We're going to follow up on these. Does he really have a diplomatic passport from Ghana? No, he's not Ghanaian. He can't have that. Maybe Nigerian diplomatic passport will suffice it, isn't it? Okay? If you have evidence, let's have that. Majestica. Okay? Thank you. And then we have Daddy. Daddy saying that, oh, them barb you before. I push it, them barb you before. And then Kobe Kwe says a Ghanaian can never do what he did, does and has done in Nigeria. I like that. Kobe Kwe says Ghanaians are too gullible. Property Zone Ghana says to the so-called rich man, don't ever come to Ghana with that idiotic attitude again. Okay? Daddy says Aposhi. So how you end up eating balloony sandwich? Alasan Tairu says opulence and arrogance of riches not tolerated in Ghana irrespective of who you are. Emmanuel Owusu says our politicians are so foolish and idiotic. The reason why some Nigerians don't respect us Ghanaians. Majestica says no, Ghana should not care. The law is the law. If he's found guilty with the COVID case, he must face the law. Okay, Majestica, we hear you. Alexander Kwesi says, Tuma Black Rasta is very shameful for a man who was once an important person in Ghana and now in the detention center in another country and saying, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord, I don't want to go back to Ghana and the country I was born. They will do this to me. Please tell Ken to return home. I'm watching you from Ontario, Canada. Tangbanja. Samuel Kweku says, in fact, Black Rasta, you are in my heart. You always make my day happy. May Allah's grace will locate you all the time. Amen. Thank you so much, Tangbanja. Okay? David Kwamla Kujawu. I like that. Running away for what? Aglana Kobir says, I'm wondering how. What at all is he running away from in Ghana? If not, I trust that he planned all this to save, steal, and go enjoy somewhere after his government was over. Awuni Kofi says, is he trying to shadow some other culprits or what? Okay? More comments coming in. Ishaq Hussein says, God is really a wonderful God. Wisdom Jobu says, OFORI-ATTA, the stubborn academy. Too strong, says, with all these explanations, Mr. AG of Ghana is intelligent, smart, brainy, wizkid, the Zuarungu boy, Abuaba, see, cool down, I beg you, cool down. You don't see nothing yet. Soon, he's coming home. It looks like the lawyers are beginning to sing a song to him. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. And Ken will come with a bit, going to Ghana. It's a black pot, aka Kokoshonomo, where we speak truth to power. Remember to share the broadcast, and remember that this is the Black Empire Media. We apologize for starting the show late. It was due to technical issues. Tomorrow we're going to be early, and tomorrow we have serious exclusives. Oh my God. Hey, we never slept over the weekend running after these exclusives. You will see crazy exclusives tomorrow. I feel like telling you some of the things, but we've run out of time. We've stayed for so long. Thank you for your patience. We love you. Have a good evening. Tomorrow, we shall hit you at 6 p.m. on the dot. Until then, hey-ya! Hey-yo! Wayo!